Going. It has started. Welcome to Denim and Pearls.
Hello, my name is Dr. Michelle,
And I'm Brian Swanson
and we are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual
with Pearls of Wisdom.
from the porch.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Well, if you're out there listening to us right now, we need to know, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
See, what happened is a couple of weeks ago, we were in Kansas City, and our mics that we use for our podcast, we discovered we're in the car that got stolen.
Yes, so if you follow us at all, you know my truck got stolen, and it just so happened I was going to take our mics and send them in and get them fixed. There was something wrong with them, the LCD screen, but they were still working. But I figured while we were gone on our long vacation, I'd send them in. So I took them with us to Kansas City so I could mail them off. Well, then somebody else decided to mail them. So whoever come on, can you hear us? I hope you're there.
I just checked. I can hear us.
Okay, cool. All right. So now that our horror story and our sob story is done with my truck being stolen, which they have not found, by the way.
Do you know they haven't found it, or they haven't written you, or they haven't called you?
Well, I actually called Kansas City Police Department and said, "What's the deal?" He says, "Well, if you haven't gotten a phone call, we haven't found it." I'm like, but wait a minute, dude.
No news is bad news. Okay.
Pretty much. So I told him, I said, I've been out of country. Who knows if my phone, who knows about my reception or whatever. So he actually went into the file. And he says, yeah, they haven't found it. So today actually starts the insurance of paying me back for it. So we'll see what I get for it.
$2.
$2.98, like my mama used to tell me.
I want my $2.
So what's our topic?
It's called "What's Inside."
What's inside of me?
Well, I saw a post from Tigo Goss, and it was an analogy of a coffee cup. And the man's at the restaurant or whatever, and someone bumps him, and they go, "Oh my goodness, what happened?" He goes, "Oh, I spilled coffee." They said, "Well, actually, you would have been spilling whatever's in your cup. So if your cup was full of coffee, if you get bumped, you're going to spill coffee. If you get bumped and you have tea, it's going to be tea."
Right.
Same with life.
You got to quit looking at me because they probably can't hear you if you don't look. You got to look at the mic.
I got to look at the mic. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, the thing is our lives are a cup. Okay. And if your cup is full of joy and it's full and someone bumps you, life gets in the way, you have a trauma, you have something that happens that rattles your cage, and you rattle that cup and you're full of anger falls out.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
No, because it spills on everybody else.
Oh, I was going to say, because if it's
spills
spilling
on
out, you're
us.
getting rid of it and you don't want it anymore.
And if you're full of joy or gratitude, when life rattles you, it will spill out gratitude and love. You'll see the good and what's going on around you and figure out a way around it. So like with Brian losing his truck, he didn't lose it, someone stole it. He was full, his life is full of possibilities. So instead of getting upset, he went, "It's just a car."
It's just a car.
So most people, if you lose a car, someone steals their car, they go, "Oh my gosh, I lost my car. It's going to cost so much money." And
well, it's a livelihood for most people. Most people only have one car, one vehicle, if it's in the family, or they only have one running car in some cases.
Well, what you said when the truck got stolen was, "It's just a truck. At least we weren't in it."
This is true. Yeah.
That is a mentality. That is a cup full of goodness, because under stressful situations, that's when people show their true colors. His true colors went very calm, so much so that I even did a presentation and he was in the room with me, helping me, and no one knew the truck was stolen. And at the very end, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's got to go get a rental car so we can drive home." They're like, "Well, how'd you get here?" He was, "In my truck." "Where's your truck?" He was, "It was stolen."
Don't know.
What?
It went somewhere.
And you're calm and talking to us and eating lunch and sharing wisdom, and you're not fazed by the fact you lost your truck. Well, I am fazed, but I know that there's another way that I can get around this, and so I'm dealing with it that way. He could have easily, when he found out his truck was gone, lost his mind, started screaming obscenities, blame everybody because why are we in this part of the town that someone's going to be stealing my truck? He could have went the other way, but he didn't.
Well, I mean, the way that I look at it, Yeah, it's an inconvenience. It's definitely an inconvenience not having my truck, because it's not like I'm going to put all of my equipment in my wife's car or the Mustang, because the Mustang's even smaller. But it's something that can be overcome. It's not a big deal. It's money in an object.
And that's why I'm talking about what's inside, because you're a very good example.
It's
of
because
what
I'm
was
full of
inside.
beer.
He's full of beer. Okay. But that's the thing. What's inside of you? When you are under stress, do you start snapping at people? Do you get incredibly depressed? Or do you just do, oh, well, it's a truck. I'll figure it out. It's a possession. I'll figure it out.
Mhm.
That is how you find out what's truly inside of you. Under stressful situations, your cup spills, and what you are full of is what pops out.
Well, I got to use the example since we're just right off of it. I mean, look at what happened with our president, who almost got assassinated Saturday, and his reaction to it. He didn't like freak out and go crawl in a corner somewhere. It doesn't matter what you think of him, but it's one of those things that he stood up proud and said, fight, fight, fight. So he's going to do whatever that means to him. And then he's right back on the road again. Now, personally, he has said that, yes, it really
shook him. And it should have.
And well, you would too if you got shot at.
Well, what I'm saying with that is, anyone in the political arena, especially running for president, when you run for president, when you say, I'm going to run for president, you already have to run through the A, B scenarios of someone's not going to like me. A lot of people aren't going to like me. And which one of those people who don't like me are going to try to take me out? So when you say, I want to be president, you already know you are instant target.
Well, yeah, you're target politically and family, and you're target on everything.
It's not just president of the United States, okay? It's anything of leadership. Mm-hmm. If you are part of a networking meeting, a group, and you are the head, the president of that group, I can assure you there are people in that room who do not like you, and they do attack you from behind your back. And do you cower away from that, or you do, oh, well, that's what they think?
Yeah, well, I did a lot of networking groups, led a lot of networking groups, and there's certain people who just think that they can do things better than you can.
But they don't.
That's one of the options. But the other thing is then they get upset at you, or they try to do this to you, or whatever it is, in order to take your position. And then my actual experience with that is when somebody does that, and then they do take your position,
and it fails.
It fails. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. It's just one of those things.
Well, and
because I think that it's the temperament of the individual.
Yes.
Because the individual who doesn't want your position, who gets it, is getting it because of who they are and what they are, not because they forced the issue and cried about it.
Well, the thing is with that, that's the law of the lid. So if leadership wise, when you're in a leadership position, you should be pretty high up on the leadership scale of awareness and things of that nature. That's usually why you end up becoming the leader. When people are attacking you from underneath saying, oh, I don't like him, they suck, or she sucks, and I want them out, I want to take their space, and then they take that spot. If they are less of a leader than you, and more than likely if they're attacking you, they probably are.
Most cases.
It brings the entire group down to their level. That's why it's important to elect leaders into a group and elect the most worthy, the one that's going to lead the group the best. And I'm not talking presidencies, okay? I'm talking general. And the reason I'm saying this is there's so many groups that I've seen, networking groups, all those networking group things, where no one wants to run clubs. They don't want to run for office. So they just say, hey, Joe, you're new. Do you want to be president? Sure, I'll take the title. And then you notice the entire group starts falling. Why? Because they didn't take the title because they actually wanted to lead. They took the title because no one else would take it. They
wanted the clout.
They wanted the clout.
They wanted something on their little resume for their next little job.
What's inside? The reason I wanted to talk about that is we need to monitor what's inside of us. You need to learn who you are, what makes you and what makes you tick, and why do you take positions of leadership? Do you take it because you want the glory, or do you take it because you want the betterment of the all? That's huge. Now, can I switch gears?
Are you done saying what you want to do?
No, I'm trying to tie something else in.
Oh, please do.
Okay. So the reason I wanted to talk about what's inside is, as you know, for those of you who watch us often and follow us, our last podcast that we did was from Croatia. We were sitting next to the water in Croatia. And people are, I know people are like, wow, they went all the way out to Croatia and they did all this. That's so cool. I really wish I could have done that. What's inside?
No, usually it's, oh, they're so rich.
Yeah, they're so rich. Here's the thing is, what's inside of us? Brian and I think of potential. We think of what's the possibility? What's the growth? Why did this opportunity to go to Croatia even pop up? Are we worthy of what the possibility is, and can we grow into it? And so basically, we went into the unknown. And when we got to the unknown, we worked our way around the room, got to know people, and realized, this is a good place to be. Mm-hmm. And we are just fine here. We jumped into the unknown. How many times have you jumped into the unknown? Or have you avoided possibilities and potential things in your life because you were afraid of what was on the other side? We brought our spouses with us, and found a whole new avenue of business and what we're going to be doing with Denim and Pearls, and in my business, Michelle Maras as a speaker, and what's coming up in masterminds and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. It expanded us by jumping into what we did not know was coming. So, no, it's not that we're rich. We planned on this thing. What happened is,
you notice not everybody was, or didn't present themselves as such.
No.
Yeah, and it was interesting.
The thing is when you want to do something, like we want to travel the world, you make a plan. What's inside of you? He's got financial background. I've got some financial background. Our thing was, okay, I want to go to this. It's going to cost X amount of dollars. We've got 12 months to save up. How much are we going to put away every month? And instead of putting it away, we just sent it straight into the payment system, and we paid for the trip before we got there. We didn't say, here's a hunk of money, we're going to Croatia on a yacht.
Here's a chunk hunk.
No, we said, here's this payment, here's this payment. There's a way of getting to where you want to go. Make a plan. So what's inside of you, if it's something that requires you want to do something, you want to go somewhere, you want to explore something, and then it costs money, you're like, oh my gosh, that's too much money, I can't do it. If it's inside of you, find a way to make it happen. Make a plan.
That's true with anything, though. Not just money.
I know.
Make a plan to get from point A to point B. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to them. It doesn't matter what it is. That's the one thing in my life that it has taken me many, many years to figure out is goal setting. When I was a kid, I was in high school. I was 18. The whole 9 yards. My aunt looks at me, and our great aunt looks at me, and she says, "What's your goals?" I said, "Well, live a good life, get married, have kids, finish a great life, whatever." That was my goals. Well, I finished those goals in like 2 years, 2 or 3 years after that.
You didn't bigger goals.
Well, I didn't, because I never, I'm always the kind of person that's like, yeah, it'll happen. Whatever's going to happen, happens. With an idea in mind, but nowadays that idea is more of a goal.
Yes.
So if there's that old saying, do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Do you know what you're going to?
Yeah, wrong song, but yeah.
No, but that's what I'm thinking. Do you know where you're going to?
So even getting it at the age that I am now, or that we are, I've come to learn that, you have to have an end goal to everything. I mean, everything has got an end goal.
Thing is, one, everything's got an end goal. Two, so many of us in this world say, it'll happen if it happens. It wasn't meant for me. The thing is if you want something, you've got to shift that GPS towards what you want. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know what you want, just put some crazy lofty goal at the end and do, okay, well, it'll happen if it happens. But what it is, it's you start doing little tiny things subconsciously to make it happen. I've always wanted to go on a yacht cruise somewhere. And I didn't know how it looks like, what it was going to be, whatever. And in my mind, I put a big goal out there that I thought, that's a crazy lofty goal. I want to do a mastermind on the water in the ocean somewhere exotic. And that's all I put out there. I didn't know anything else. And one day I said that goal to somebody. This lofty goal I want to have. And the guy says, I know a guy who owns a fleet of yachts. Let's make it happen. That's why we went to Croatia.
And it happened.
And it happened. And it happened quickly. So that's why I'm saying you don't have to have an exact what you want, but throw some crazy wild dream out there, and subconsciously you will do things in your life that will make it happen. Because if you live life like a leaf on the wind, you will blow wherever the wind blows.
Mhm.
You will have no direction.
Well, that's why some people live in the same town that they've been born in, and they live in the same house. Not that that's not their goal. It's just that's what happens a lot of times. It's a lot of the evidence that people haven't made goals is they're content where they're at.
And then
The difference between a rut and a grave.
Exactly. So if you're happy where you are and you don't have some crazy dream where you were 12 years old and said, one day I really wish blah, blah, blah. And now that you're 50, you do, oh, well, yeah, I had that dream, but that's too late.
It's over.
It's never too late. It's never too late. If it still nags at your conscious, go figure out a way to have it happen.
Mm-hmm.
I had a girlfriend, I met her in college, and she was 80. I was a sophomore in college. She was 80. And she said she was younger, she wanted to be an engineer, but then she got married, had babies, and became a stay-at-home mom, and she was too busy taking care of her kids. She never went back to school. And now that her kids are grown and having grandchildren for her and her husband died, she's like, I have a whole house to myself, and I've never tried to be an engineer. I've always wanted to be. So I came back to school. She was 80.
Mm-hmm.
She got her engineering degree.
Well, there's all kinds of stories of successful people out there who kind of set their mind to it and became what they wanted to be. I mean, one of the big ones that you hear about is Colonel Sanders in Kentucky Fried Chicken. He was 62 or 65 or something like that. I don't remember. You'd have to look it up.
A lot of those things, a lot of people, really successful people, didn't find their niche till they were in their 40s, 50s.
Yeah. And there's others that were older, you know.
Mm-hmm. So
some of us wish we would have started a lot earlier.
But that's why we do things like this and do podcasts. That's why so many people do podcasts, is to share with other people that it's not too late. You have a goal, go make a goal if you haven't one, and do little tiny steps to make it happen. And
well, I need to find a new truck.
Go find a new truck.
I'm keeping my eye out on it. I'm not in a big hurry to get it.
But here's the thing. He says, I need a new truck. I'm not a big deal. While we were driving back from Kansas City, he goes, ooh, I like that.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I like that.
They all start popping up everywhere.
But that's the thing about goal setting. When you put a minor goal is, I need a new truck. It's that simple. The universe, God, whoever you believe in that, will start putting things in your peripheral. Mm-hmm. Pay attention.
Oh, yeah.
So make a goal.
Here's your sign.
And the sign will be popping up. You just have to be aware to look at it. And that is what's been on my mind, because I know a couple of people went, wow, I wish I was you. I wish I could afford to go to Croatia. And I'm thinking, you can.
You can if you want to.
If you want to, make a plan.
Yep.
And that's really the bottom line of this.
And it doesn't have to be Croatia. I mean, it can be anywhere you want to go, even if it's to Ohio. I mean,
I'm just saying, because people said,
right.
You went to Croatia. I wish I could do what you did. And I'm saying you can go anywhere you want. Just because it's me doesn't mean you can't. I encourage you, if you have not visited somewhere and you wish you traveled more, start small. Okay? If you live in a town that has a historical marker that people go to, if you haven't gone to it, go to it. If you live in a state where people flock to your state and they all go to some big tourist place, I can assure you probably haven't gone to it. Go to it. If you live in a country that has something that everyone talks about in history or whatever, go to that. Start where you live and then work your way out. You'll get braver and braver. Because I know a lot of people living here in Colorado who have never been to the top of Pikes Peak.
That's true.
Right there.
You can see it.
Or, I won't go there. Well, if someone comes to visit me, then I'll go. Go.
Well, I always talked about that when I was in Indiana. I lived in northern Indiana in the Indianapolis 500. Well, I never went to the race ever in my entire life that I lived there, but I ended up going there afterwards. Not during the race, but I ended up actually being on the track and everything, which was kind of cool too. Just no race. But then the one thing that I keep looking at every year here is we have the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. I can't ever seem to stumble across tickets. So I haven't been to the Pikes Peak Hill Climb, which is a fancy race. They run the cars up the hill and everything. But it's one of those things that it just hasn't happened yet. But it hasn't been a major goal of mine, just one of those cool things that if it happens, it happens.
if you want to do something, you have to make a plan. Do not be a leaf in the wind. You can be a leaf on a current because you know where the current's going to go. But the leaf on the wind is all over the place. So make a plan. Do something that scares you ever so slightly and go find out what's inside of you. Because I can tell you, when you're traveling and things go haywire, like with us, we ended up in Zurich in the middle of nowhere. And what spilled out of me was, I have not slept in several days. I'm incredibly tired. I'm upset. And it wasn't until I calmed down that I realized, I'm kind of glad we're out in the middle of nowhere because we could actually relax when we wanted to relax.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was awesome because, just floating in the salt water.
No, I was saying Zurich.
Oh, well, Zurich, yeah. There was no salt water in Zurich at the time.
But that's it. It's all what's in you at the time. So I was tired and frustrated. And when bad things started happening, instead of me seeing the positive side of it, the first thing I saw was anger because I was so tired. See? It happens to the best of us. So don't beat yourself up for it. Just be mindful and filling yourself up with good things, happier things, gratitude, and be grateful. And that's what I think I came to in Zurich. Grateful that I had someone who even made that reservation for us to find us a safe place to be, that we could walk around and not worry about getting mugged, right? So find the good in whatever is going on in your world.
Oh,
and
that situation.
Find out what's inside of you before you're stressed out and your cup spills over.
Well, some people say that I'm really, really passive, and some people can't understand how I, like you, not understanding how I didn't, or not you, but the people not understanding how I didn't get upset over the truck. But that's just my temperament. That's just the way I've always been. I look at things from a logical standpoint.
Just note by that.
But every once in a while I get a little upset.
If he got upset about his car being stolen and he lost his mind, we would not be sitting together right now. We would have ended this. And that's factual.
Over a car.
Yeah. If you lost your mind over a car, I would have walked away from you. You see? And so you never know what your reactions are doing to the people around you. And you are your brand. You are your business. So you need to know how you're going to react, or at least somehow control what you're going to react like, because you don't know. He did not know that if he started snapping at people that day, that I would have distanced myself from him.
I've only snapped once in your presence.
He's only snapped once, and I agreed with it.
Just because I wanted to throw her out, and it wasn't even his last one.
Stop. We know. He and I know what it was. But the thing is I understood, and he didn't make a scene. He only said it to me.
Uh-huh.
And so that's the other thing that's different. He was losing it, and he pulled me over his. And I said, just breathe. Goes,
that's one way to put it.
I'm here for you. Okay, you're here for me. Don't hurt me. So that's the thing. Is what's inside. Look up the song "What's Inside" by Sarah Borealis. It's a cute song. I think she just sings butter, sugar, butter. And she talks about baking, but baking what's inside of you and giving that out. I'm going to bake cookies. And zucchini bread and banana bread.
Okay.
Just happy stuff. So think about it. What's inside of you? Fill yourself with gratitude, love, and be grateful that you have a place to complain. Be grateful that you have a business that you can be worried about. Be grateful that you have a spouse that's annoying you. Be grateful that you have a significant, be grateful for the things that are making you crazy, because there are people out there who wish they had it. And that's one of the things I think I remember being filled with and understanding that predicament. When I couldn't have children a long time ago, I was told I couldn't have children. I remember I really wish I could have children. And then when I got pregnant, I'm like, well, I can have children. But I saw both sides of it. And you always have to remember that what you think is a nuisance, there's someone wishing they had it.
Definitely.
Like I complain about my stretch marks in my belly. I had large children. I had 10-pound children, and I'm only 5 foot, so I kind of got stretched out. And so I looked at that and I'm complaining about my body shape has changed, but then you look at another woman and she's wishing she had the stretch marks. So that's the thing.
That's a new one, but okay.
Go fill yourself with good things and gratitude for what you have, even the gratitude for what you are complaining about, because someone, whatever you're complaining about, someone wishes they had the way to complain about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we done?
Yeah, because I'm on a soapbox.
Good, because I know you are. That's why I'm interrupting you, because we have 5 minutes. What do you have coming up in the next month?
This Saturday, I'm singing at the Kenna Foundation. It's a nonprofit in Colorado, Colorado Springs, El Paso County to be exact, where they raise money by all means. And actually, you can even donate if you want to. That would be sweet of you. It's called the Kenna Foundation. It's Kenna Foundation. And what they do is they take monies and they donate it to individuals who have physical disabilities and their families. So they're the ones that they give the big check and they convert the door so the wheelchair can go in, and they make ramps and
Cool.
things like that. And I'm singing I'm the performer for their gala this Saturday night at the Great Wolf Lodge. If you're interested, write me. I'll send you the link and you can go. The tickets are very inexpensive, but it's for an amazing cause. What else is happening? We have, well, you're starting to carry.
Well, you've got the thing with Sally. When's
Oh, that's Beaver Creek. The Beaver Creek retreat for the Awaken the Unapologetic You is coming up at the end of October, actually. But we are only taking 10 people. We only have 2 VPs that will stay closer to us. So if you're interested in that, the Awaken the Unapologetic You retreat, only for women. There's only 10 women that we're allowing in. So if you're interested in that, you can write me. I'll send it to you.
that? I want to go to a pajama party.
Nope. Or you can go to my website, michellemoros.com, and it's in the top corner. And then what else is happening? I'm doing a keynote in Canada. You can't do that one. It's a keynote for
Unless somebody in
a
Canada is
nursing
listening.
school. Yeah, I'll be in Edmonton, Canada on August 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I'm doing a commencement speech, basically.
Okay. And we might be planning you a small concert here at one of the new venues in town.
The new venue in town in September.
Yeah.
I will be in New York on August 6th. And then I will be.
I didn't expect you to take up the whole 5 minutes.
Yeah, and he asked me. I'm like, I don't remember. But.
And then what's next weekend?
Not So Many Con.
Not So Many Con. And it's going great, by the way.
It's on Saturday, by the way.
The crazy part of it is it's always the goals that we were talking about goals.
What date?
The 27th.
Okay, just
27th. It starts at 11 o'clock for the public. But we were talking about goals. Well, Galaxy Fest or MiniCon, not so at this case, has been kind of a goal so that I can get back to the bigger Galaxy Fest event. And we actually made a profit on the last one.
Oh, what, $2?
No, it was $12.73.
Good for you.
I actually, well, the thing of it is all the other big events cost me big money out of my pocket to make things happen that I never recouped. In fact, my wife even says, when am I ever going to get my money back? But not so. Last month, or in April, actually made a profit of $12. And I've got an extra sponsor this time for the July event. I've got extra sponsor. I got extra money coming in. So this time, I should make at least $100.
Well, here's the thing about events. A lot of you go to events and you complain about the pricing of an event. Understand that the venue has to be paid for.
Oh.
The tables have to be paid for. Security has to be paid for. There's a lot of things that go in with the events, and that's why event pricing is so high. And what's crazy about it is sometimes they've jumped the prices since COVID. So it's really difficult to have an event without charging a lot of money.
Right.
That he's able to do the Not So Mini Con, and it's $5 at the door or whatever, right?
Yeah, $5 at the door, $10 for a family of 4.
Family of 4. Okay, you can't. That's unheard of. And so, like Sally and I doing our retreat in October. You want to sign up now, okay? Awaken the Unapologetic You. We kept that price low because of the membership she already has. And if we didn't have that price would have been much larger than it is. So remember that when you're thinking about events and gosh, that's really pricey. Understand that a lot of that money is going to the venue that we're
Yeah,
using.
that's usually not going into the promoter's pocket. That's usually going to the venue and the renting of tables and the banners and the blah 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 blahs to me and the giveaways. I mean, heck, just our cosplay giveaway this time is up to, I think it's like for all the prizes, it's up over $200.
See, and so when you go to an event and they have
and there's some cool prizes
they have,
for the cosplay.
they have pens and paper and all this stuff and banners. Understand all of that costs money, and that's what they have to pay for. It's not, oh, they're making a lot of money. No, most of us, when we're doing events, we usually aren't making a lot of money. We're handing it back to someone else. So keep that in mind. And if you can, see you this Saturday at the Kenna Foundation. I'll put the link in the bottom of all of these. And then if you want to go to Not So Minicon on the 27th, we'll see you there. You may not recognize me because I think I'm going to be dressed up. But
You gonna dress up
I think so.
this time?
Yes. So we'll see you either this Saturday night at the Kenna Foundation or at
Next
Not So
Saturday.
Minicon on Saturday the 27th. And during all
At
these
the
other
City Hall.
times, come see him at Music Trivia on
Tuesday nights,
at
Brass Tap,
or Saturday nights
as in tomorrow night at Brass Tap.
at Best Tap
7:30.
Karaoke.
Karaoke.
Yeah. So we'll see you around town if you're in Colorado. If not, come out and fly out and see me in Beaver Creek. Go get a ticket. We'll see you there.
And be nice and friendly and share, and all those other fun things with your friends because they might be able to listen to this message today.
And remember,
It's a good message.
what's in your cup?
My cup runneth over.
Take care. Be the best.
I had to
version
get that
of
in there
you.
somewhere. My cup runneth over.
Okay.
I had to get it in there. It's a saying for the ages. My cup runneth over with joy.
With joy. That's what it is. I'm like, what is it covered in? Because that's what it is. It's brother filled with appreciation. So, anyways, go be the best version of you. We'll see you next week, Friday, same bat channel, same bat time, and hopefully with mics that actually pick us up when we turn our heads. So have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Oh yeah, we'll have new mics next week.
Yes, my name is Dr. Michelle Moras.
And I'm Brian Swanson
We are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual
with Pearls of Wisdom.
from the porch. We'll see you next week.
Love y'all. Peace.